Most scholars feel that first year of PhD is about choosing a topic and reading papers, but it isn't. In reality, you are building three things at a time: your research career, as well as your identity as a researcher. Miss any of this, and you'll spend the rest of your PhD trying to catch up. Today's video would be a month by month roadmap for first year of PhD. From research milestones to mental health to even fellowship planning. Let's begin. The first month would be building the foundations, understanding university regulations, clarifying supervisors' expectations, understanding what the research group is. Just because you are working on the same topic does not mean the entire group works on the same topic. Set up reference manager. I have already done a tutorial on Mendeley's getting organized as far as your digital assets are concerned, and maintaining a research notebook so that you can jot down everything over there. You are overwhelmed because you are new to the place. Understand the system first. Create accounts on Orchid, Google Scholar, LinkedIn, and ResearchGate, and start following relevant people. Start building your academic identity from day one. Month 2 is about learning the landscape. Don't just chase papers, understand research themes. What kind of work is going on over there? Landmark papers, review papers, and follow influential researchers on LinkedIn. It is totally understandable if you feel stupid. Every paper raises 10 new questions. That's actually a progress. Your brain is trying to learn a new language. Start following funding agencies, fellowship portals, conferences, and professional societies. You don't have to apply yet, just observe. Month 3 is to narrow the direction. Now you can safely move from I like AI to I want to solve this specific topic. Develop research questions, objectives, and research methodologies. You don't have to go in detail. At this stage, there is always this fear of choosing wrong topic, but there is nothing called as good topic and bad topic. No PhD topic is perfect, and every topic evolves. Speak to your supervisor about conferences, workshop, training school, and summer schools. Understand what opportunities exist. Month 4 is all about building your knowledge system. Create literature matrix, concept maps, annotation systems, and citation databases. I have done a detailed video on how to do literature review, find out concept maps, and build evidence matrix if you are interested. Don't just read and rely on your memory. Build an external system where you can save and preserve all this information. Build a second brain. At this stage, there is a tendency for the brain to feel overloaded. One thing to remember over here is you don't have to read each and every information. The goal is not to remember every paper. It is to find a place to store all the information. Attend webinars, networking events, department seminars, and meet people. Month 5 is all about finding research gaps. Begin by asking where there has been no disagreements. What are the limitations and what has been solved? Here, the imposter syndrome kicks in. It makes you feel you don't know enough. It looks like everything has already been done, but this is the actual time where we see what are the gaps which are there in the literature and try to fill it. As far as your career frontier is concerned, start identifying fellowships. Create a spreadsheet: fellowship, eligibility, deadline, funding, required documents, supervisor support, and status. This becomes your funding pipeline. Whichever opportunities you hear, you can directly input it in this spreadsheet so you can plan your timelines accordingly. Month 6 is about designing the research. Here we are finally getting into your own objectives at practical level. Methodology, timeline, resources, funding availability. This is probably the time where you will start working on your proposal. At mental level, there is always this question: what if this doesn't work? It's okay if it doesn't work. There will be always information about this particular experiments, which is totally normal. Every methodology improves after feedback. Start working on your proposal. Get the right recommendation letters if you are planning to apply for a research internship or fellowship. What kind of publications do you have to publish? You don't have to start writing. You can just ideate and keep things ready. Your research statements. Start working on these documentations quickly. Month 7 is all about building skills for research. Learn the relevant softwares in research, statistics, coding, every discipline from humanities to science. All the results need to be validated by statistics. qualitative methods, and lab techniques. Only what your project or your objectives require. You will feel like a beginner again because you are one. Every PhD requires to be a beginner at multiple stages. Take up certified workshop, online courses. I keep doing short videos from 30 to 60 seconds on online courses which are available for free. So stay tuned for that and check the previous ones. Research training. All these things strengthen your research as well as your fellowship applications. Month 8 is about starting to write. Write summaries, write methodologies, literature review and proposal. You don't have to finish everything. You have to start writing and systemize the processes. Writing won't be good. No one's first draft is perfect. We do have to understand that it is the first draft. As far as your career is concerned, start drafting reusable elements. For example, CV, research statement, motivation letter, biography, one-page summary of your research. All these would be really handy whether you are applying for a research fellowship or for a job later. So it's best to start preparing for it right now. Month 9 is all about seeking feedback. Start your presentation. You can present internally. Get criticism early. At emotional level, there is a tendency for us, everyone, to be really susceptible to criticism. Separate criticism of work from criticism for yourself. This distinction changes everything. At this career stage, ask your seniors which fellowship matters. If they have availed of any travel grant, if they have availed of any research internship, if they are trying to go abroad or do something, then discuss with them. Month 10 is all about increasing visibility. Visibility or attention is the currency where we are right now. Present posters, presentations, seminars, conferences, and also at emotional level, stop comparing timelines. PhD is not a race that whoever comes first, that person only wins. Start submitting for travel grants, conference fundings, small fellowships, and mobility grants. Mobility grants are when you go from one place to another to do research. I have covered it extensively in my internships video. These are often easier to secure than large fellowships and it builds your fellowship track record. Month 11 is all about producing your first research output. Research could be a conference paper, a poster, a manuscript, or a pilot study. Nobody expects you to publish a full-length paper, but these small, tiny achievements matter much more than anything else. I personally always feel the success of a PhD cannot be measured by how many publications you publish. Learning, skills, clarity, and confidence. These are the parameters which will matter much more in long term. At this career stage, if possible, submit your fellowship applications. It could be research internship, mobility internship, anything. Submit to any one fellowship. Even if you don't get accepted, that experience would be much more valuable. Month 12 is all about planning for year 2. Review your research questions, literature, your methodology. Progress does not mean just experiments done. Progress also means failed experiments. Progress also means getting adjusted to the environment. It also means learning to stand your ground during defense. At this stage, research scholars realize how much we don't know. That's the information that can be built on. Review what kind of fellowships did you apply for? Which deadlines are coming in year 2? A lot of fellowships which are aimed at research scholars, they require you to finish at least 1.5 year to 2 year before you actually apply for them. Which documentation you require? Publications, presentations, certifications. What are the outputs? Create a funding plan apart from your research plan. This is the concept map of all the 12 months, whether it is your research work, career plan, as well as the emotions that you will be facing from month 1 to 12. You can pause the video and have a look. Whether it is learning how to navigate a research dashboard or how to navigate your emotions as well as setting up a funding plan for your career. First year of PhD should include everything, not just your experiments. PhD is a roller coaster. It is definitely not a smooth one. That said, there are things that can be done to smoothen your journey and my best wishes for this journey.